Looks like we've run out of our quota on the event properties. We are not sure which events are the culprits here, right? Which is causing this to blow up. I did a quick download of all the events one of these days on production, and I got this list of, but again, I don't know which. I mean, this still doesn't answer which events are actually causing my properties quota to blow up.
That's an interesting one. Shall we go into your data home and let's have a little look? So if we go to properties in your tracking plan on the left, and we click on properties, and then that's going to show you all of your different event properties. And it should give us a number, 2001. What I would do to start with, I would click on a couple of these properties just to see what exactly is pulling it through. So for example, if we clicked on, chat ID, which events that's being, so if you go up to use by, so we've got chat page load. So if we click on that, let's see how many properties we've got coming through a chat page load. Only 6. Already there's a naming issue in there. You've got platform, and then you've got platform named incorrectly. Whenever you've got naming issues like this, it's going to duplicate the count of that property, and it's going to look like a distinct, different property. So there's probably a lot of cleaning that we would need to do with your tracking plan. I also wouldn't really recommend having 800 events. Whenever we start with clients, we put a maximum of 50. What it might be is that you've got a lot of events that are very, very similar, and you're not defining them through the properties to then kind of split those out. Already the quick fix, now that you're over your limit, is you can find in the properties list the platform that is named wrong, and then you can delete it, and then that should take you back off your quota.
So let's say we're looking at this sort of messed up naming convention and to kind of redo the entire instrumentation from ground up. And what we were not sure of is how do we keep track of things in the future? So let's say if I end up deleting everything that we have today and renaming everything, how do we ensure that we don't lose out on any insights that, I mean, even with the bad data that we have?
Yeah, there's a few different ways. So we do a lot of audits with clients, and from there we have a look at how their tracking is and whether we need to redo the implementation all over again, or if we can make small changes. And this is like the number one question when we say, okay, no, we need to redo everything. Is that, okay, well, how do I keep my historic data? There's a few ways that we can do it. You can either take a dump, you can export it like we were mentioning. If you have a data warehouse, we were mentioning before, you can just export all of that out so that at least you can save it within the data warehouse. You can also keep it within a separate project space. So if you're happy that you will have like a break in the data, so you'll have some data coming through for your historic stuff, and then you're going to have a complete gap, and then you'll have separate charts for the subsequent data. I would recommend creating a new project space with a new ID, new API key, so then all the fresh data will come into there completely separate. If you do need to have some sort of continuation, so for example, you need a segmentation chart that goes from 6 months ago into the future, then the other thing that we generally do with our clients is very carefully naming the new tracking plan to create new events. And then we combine those events for a certain amount of time. It's quite tedious and quite time consuming, but you can combine all these different events. So you've got the wrong named event from before and the new one that is correct. Combine those and then use that combined event for charts in the future for the next few months until you no longer need that historic data, which is generally like 6 months. And then you can go back through and delete all of your old data. So there's kind of 3 different solutions that we could go for.
Sure, this is super helpful, Alex. I think we're not really too worried about the continuity here, so I would not be too interested in the third option. But I think the second one sounds great to us, which is basically just relaunching with a new project, new API keys, just ensuring that everything starts flowing to a completely new project.
Well, if you have any follow-ups, especially if you're sort of redesigning your tracking plan, do grab us on the Slack community, and we can see what we can do to help out.
Super, this is super helpful. Thank you. Thanks, Alex. Thanks very much.